welcome. Welcome aboard the Tech Genius XY Express. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell for your passport to programming in English and Hausa. Thank you for joining us in this presentation. In our previous lesson, we introduced functions and the syntax of functions and how you can implement a simple function. Okay, so in this presentation, we are going to go into more details about the fundamentals of functions and what you have to understand before building a complex uh, programming algorithms that has to do with functions. Okay, so uh, we have to understand before we delve into our presentation. I would like to explain the two ways to pass parameters. Okay, so in programming, when passing argument to functions or method, we can use two main approaches, which are positional arguments, which is this, and keyword uh, arguments. So those are the basically two ways. So the positional is just interested in the values in the same order. That is all about just position. You have to pass the value according to their position specified by the parameter. Okay, so this is a very simple of positional parameter. So a must be first, then followed by b. So if you are passing the argument, you have to pass it in order. So but in keyword, you don't have to do that. You just call the parameter name and you assign whatever you want. So in this case, this is uh, the first parameter and this is the second parameter, but we can as well just call the variable name here, then we pass what we want. So this is the keyword definition. Okay, so we are passing the keyword argument. That is how to do it. So instead of following the positional order, we can as well do the keyword. So each one of them have their own uses. So okay, so that is basically what I want to discuss about the keyword and argument. We should not get it confused. Okay, so now we are going to go into deep with our presentation relating to parameters. So parameters are names defined in a function definition. Arguments are the actual values that function calls. Okay, so example of the parameters, this is our function definition, this is the name of the function, and this is the parameters here. So but in this case, we have some optional parameters which we define. So they are also like argument, they are serving two purpose. So by default, if value is not passed to them, they will use what they have there. That is basically what is happening. Okay, so we are dealing with the keyword. Like we said, we are only interested the keyword. We are not interested in the position of this A, B, C. We can like interchange. We can do it anyhow we want. It's going to work. Okay. So we are calling B first here. Then we are calling A. You can see they are not in the same order. B comes first, but in this case, B was second. So that is all about the keyword argument. Okay. So and you can as well just pass the values. You don't have to like specify the variable. Okay, that's all. And the second one here, we are going to uncomment that as well. Okay, this function, these two functions, they are basically printing what the parameters they have. So the argument that has been passed, that's all what they are doing. Okay, it's nothing much, a very simple printing. Okay, so now we are as well, we are still insisting on the keyword. You can see the arrangement. C is the last, but in this case, we are using the keyword. We just call the variable name. We assign our parameter, not in order. That is all about keyword. You can. So what about if you want to use keyword only argument? Okay, you want it to be what you have given. So in that case, you have to use this asterisk or wildcard. Okay, so this is our function definition. This is the name of the function. This is the wildcard, so or asterisk. Then our keyword. So this is the keyword parameter, and we are by default we are giving it a default name, which is boy. So if you have to pass parameter to this function, it's going to be keyword. It's not going to be like this format that you just pass anyhow parameter you anyhow argument you want. So it's not going to accept that. So I have called the function several times, and in this case by default is going to use the function will use the argument it has inbuilt. So this is the one that we pass hard coded. Okay, so it's going to use that. Then the second one, we are changing it, we are overriding the first one with this girl. Then the third one, we try to change the name. We are not using the variable name, we are using our own baby, another new variable, and we assign it to the girl. We are going to run into error. And the last one, we try to pass just like a string, since it's accepting string. So but it's not going to accept that because it's not in keyword argument. Okay, that is all what I want to explain in this place. So now let's just run this, then go and yeah, you can see the error I was talking about. Okay, these are the two errors that we are getting. So before we do that, the from the printing, we know how to add two numbers. This is simple. This positional example, that is the positional argument that we explain in order. So this is 3 plus 4 is 7. And this is the keyword that we just explained, keyword argument. We call the divisor first instead of the dividing. So we call the divisor, then we divide it by the dividing. Okay, that is but it gets interchanged inside the program, and we have the exact output, which is 10 over 2 instead of 2 over 10. Okay, so that is what we are interested about, the keyword arguments. Okay, I believe that is self-explanatory. So this the same case, this is we are still explaining the keyword arrangement. In this case, we are not restricting to only keyword uh, arguments, but in this case we are as well allowed to pass just the value. We can pass just the value. The first one will be replaced by a, the second one is going to override with by the 6 to by the 2 to 6. Okay, so and as well we are interchanging checking here. Okay, we printed it here. As you can see, we are still printing this without basically restricting the keyword only argument. You can see we can pass values directly since we are not using the wildcard. And in this case, we are also using the arguments flexibility. We are interchanging the parameters not in order, they are not positional. So that is all. But in this case, you can see this is a wildcard here, and we are specifying the name of the variable, which is the parameter. Okay, and for that reason, we have to we have to make sure that our print function, my network is seizing. Okay, so yeah, the network is back. All right, so in this case we are restricting, this is the exact way we want the user to enter. Or if you call our function, this is the exact way you have to, it must be in keyword only. It's not going to be like something, some values or some string that you can pass. You have to use what the function specify, okay, as a parameter. So that is by default, if you are not passing any arguments, is going to call the default option. So that is the boy, we got it printed here. I'm a big boy here, is printed here. And the one we try to override that by the, we are still calling the name, the keyword exactly. We are following the exact because of this wildcard. Okay, we printed I'm a big girl. But look at this case, we try to pass another variable, another argument with a name of baby. So but is we are running into an error. And the last one, okay, I'm going to comment this. uh the first error, we are still going to have another error because I tried to pass a string without following the syntax of the keyword only. So it's going to run into another error. So let me we'll still have one error. So you can see here, so the error is about the positional, so it's not correct. So if I want to correct this, I have to put the name, and then yes, it must be in order. So this will not generate the error, so it's going to get it clear. All right, so as you can see, this is the output that we were talking about. Okay, basically that is all about the keyword arguments. So I'm going to highlight all this that we explained, and I'm going to move. Yes, then we are going to proceed with positional argument. So, like we explained, positional, we are only interested in the same order. So that is what we're interested. It must be in order. It's not going to be like the other cases where you have to just define uh, the way you want it. Okay, so in this case, we define our function, we call the function name, and we are passing parameters here. Then what about this slash? So this slash, we are accepting only arguments. So you can see, you will see the difference. So, and the rest have their optional, by default, they have values. The parameters has values, which we put there, and we are printing the arguments, which are the parameters of the function. Okay, then here, at first, if we test run this program with 4 and 6, so a is going to be 4, and that is the value. But if we try to test run with the second one, which I commented, so this, I'm trying to assign it like a keyword here in this place, but in order as well, we are going to run into an error due to the fact that this forward slash is there, so it's going to generate error. Okay, so let's just run that and see. Yeah, like I said, so the error is clear here. We are trying to, is complaining about his positional only, so positional only argument, so it's not keyword argument. So I hope you get the idea. That's, so we have to comment this back. So this is the one that we are going to be using like this. Okay, so now, the same thing for the second program here is doing the same thing. So we are just repeating ourselves here. Okay, so we are basically, this is to accept positional only, positional keyword only. So it must be in order, and it is not going to be like keyword. It's going to be just the values. You just pass the values in order. So that is very, very important. Okay, so now, let's clear our console. We are going to higher order function. This is very interesting. Uh, what is higher order function? Higher order function take one or more function as argument. They return another function as output. In Python, any function can act as a higher order function. Okay, that is a simple definition of higher order function. So now we are going to comment these functions so that we can work with them. We still have second to the last to cover. Okay, so without much of wasting time, I'm going to quickly define. This is our definition of function. This is the name of the function, and in our parameter we are passing a function. That's why we call it higher order functions. So we are passing a function, not not variable, so, or any name. So this is a function. Fun is an inbuilt function in Python. Then we are passing another value here. So we are returning the fun as a function, and we are passing arguments, which is parameter here. So uh, we call the function, we store it in this variable looking. So this is our function call. We pass inside the function, we pass a directory. This is all these are inbuilt in Python. Then we want to check the string directory. So once we start printing this, we are going to have all the let me comment those printing, so that it's not going to get printed the previous. Okay, so um okay, so like I said, we are going to test run this, but before we do that, this is going to check the directory of the string, and it's going to print all the method and the dunder functions and the classes, everything relating to string. We are going to get it, just like we used the in our previous video. Okay, so this one is inner add. Is it has no parameter. This is an empty parameter. Okay, and we are nesting another function inside a function. So that's what part of higher order function is. Okay, so you are nesting function inside a function. So we are defining another function, which is add 8, and we are passing a parameter of x. So, and we are returning the x with addition of 8. So how do you use this type of function? And we are returning the function back to inner. So we are returning the inner function, the add 8, back to the inner add here. So If you want to call this type of function, you have to call the outer function, which is the first one, the outer function here, which is inner. Then you check if it's taking argument. Since it's not taking an argument, it's just empty, so you call it that way. Then you save it in a variable, and when you save it in a variable, then you pass inside that variable here. We call the variable and we are passing a parameter, an argument here, sorry. So the argument that we are passing is going to get access to this add 8 here in memory of the Python. Okay, so that is going to be 2. The 2 will be replaced with the x, then 2 plus 8 is going to be 10. We are printing it here. Okay, then the second definition here, which is our definition of function. This is the name of our function outside add, and it's taking a parameter here n. It has one parameter, and we are defining inner add as well, which has one parameter, and we return the addition of the both inner and the outside. Okay, then we return the inner function to the outside function here. Then if you want to have access to the outside function, you have to call the outside function. You pass the argument first, then you call your variable and you give it an argument as well for the inner function. So it's going to be 2 plus 8 in this case. So it's going to be 10 as well. So we are going to get 10 printed, just like we expected here. And this is the string dunder function and the method and the some that abstract data type classes that you can implement if you want to define any class. Okay, so that is basically what we are interested in. This we have explained the higher order function, where they are very useful when you want to implement some other data type structures. Okay, so the last one, which is arguments asterisk, this one star asterisk, or wildcard or asterisk. And this it could be any name that you want. It's just a list. Once you put this star, you are telling the function you don't know how many inputs you are going to receive. And this star is going to be a dictionary. So this keyword argument, this is a list argument, this is keyword argument, and that is all what we want to explain about them. So the application is for unknown number of argument beforehand. Okay, so these are two functions. They are basically doing the same thing. So I'm going to highlight and uncomment it, and we are going to check. So in this, we define this is the definition of the function, and we are giving a name of the for the function, and we are calling this as asterisk. So this asterisk argument, I said, is a list unknown number of items that we can pass to the parameter. Instead of, we don't know how many parameters we are going to accept, so we are using this. And this is star keyword, so that is dictionary, so we are using keyword arguments. Okay, then we printed the length of the argument. This is just string formatting, and then we are calling the length function. We are passing the arguments here, the name of the this parameter. Then we are looping, since we don't know how many number of times we are going to have the item. We are looping and printing individual item. Then this is a new line. Then we are printing for the keyword, which is basically dictionary. So we are taking the length and we are looping the key and value inside a dictionary. So just like that. So in this case, we call the function name and we are storing it in the variable me. And this is what we pass. We pass 1, 2, 3. We don't know how many parameters we are going to pass. It could be anything. So we are just passing 1, 2, 3, 1 true, and then we start passing some kind of variable keyword arguments. So these are keyword arguments. We have some positional arguments here, and these are keyword arguments here, just like a string or variable declaration. So that is what we pass here, and we are printing it here. So it's the same thing. In this case, instead of using the word argument, I change it to list and dict. What we are interested in is this star, this asterisk, and double asterisk. The double asterisk is for dictionary. If you want to pass some kind of keyword argument, just like this, and this one is basically accepting list. So just like your normal data integer, like 1, 2, 3, any type of string data type, that it doesn't have to be in form of keyword, like positional arguments. Yeah, so basically that is what we are doing there. So we are going to quickly delete our console so that we can see the output of this. So we pass, like I said, we pass so many values here with that we don't know how many values is going to. So the length of the argument here is 5. That is the list. And the keyword that we started passing here, these are all the keyword. Okay, keyword argument. Keyword argument, yeah, like we mentioned. So the keyword argument is for, and we look through it, and we that is basically all about this. All right, thank you guys for listening to this presentation. Have a nice day.